Hello, everyone, and welcome to Africa Fire Mission's weekly virtual training session. My name's Mike, and I'm the programs director here at Africa Fire Mission. And we're so happy that you took time out of your busy schedules to join us for today's training. Today, we're joined by Richard Gichina. Richard has been a volunteer for a number of years with Africa Fire Mission. He's a well-trained firefighter and fire officer, and he's here today to share some information. We're going to be learning about ladders and rescue. So I invite you to stick around. It's going to be a great class. Before we get started with today's training, let me just touch on a couple of administrative notes. Uh, if you stick around for at least 70% of today's training, which is usually about 40 or 45 minutes, I can get you a certificate of attendance for today's class. Um, if something happens that you get disconnected, you have some network issues or something like that, uh, I encourage you to head over to our webpage at www.africafiremission.org. Check out the resources tab on the webpage under training materials. You'll be able to find recordings of today's class as well as all of the other classes that we've taught so far this year. If you go and watch the video, answer a couple questions to let us know that you stuck around and watched that whole video. Uh, I could get you a certificate of attendance for those classes as well. So I would encourage you to head over there and check that out. There's a ton of other free resources that are available to help you better do your job there. So I encourage you to get onto that web page, take a look, and see if there's anything we can do to assist you. At this point in time, let me just make you a quick reminder. The name that you're using here on your Zoom screen is the name that goes on your certificates. So if you'd like it to read something different, please make those adjustments to your name now. That'll just make things easier for me. Uh, if you've got other people that are joining you sharing your screen, you can shoot me an email. I'll drop my email address in the chat, and we can get certificates for everybody that's watching on your screen. At this point in time, I'm going to pass things over to our instructor of the day, Richard, to get us started with today's training.
Hello, good morning, Chef Mike. How are you doing?
Great. Good to see you, Richard, or hear you at least.
Ah, good to see. Good to see you too. Sir. How are you doing? Good evening, everyone. For those who have a morning, good morning. You're doing well. It is slightly cold in Kenya now. I don't know, we are facing our winter, but we're still moving on. So, welcome for today, and we're going to do some few things about. We call them ladder rescue because you see, by the end of the day, it is exactly what we have. We will learn about it today. Chief Mike, can you see that?
It's loading now. Yep, just start your show.
Good. Thank you very much. So, sorry, I have a cold, so it's really messing up me. But today, I hope we'll, by the end of the day, I'm sure we'll run something good and something constructive in this lesson. So, today we're going to learn. Let me and make it bigger. Oopsie. This is a part of. Right. Can you see that now?
That one will work. That's your presenter view, but that can work if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so very much today for everyone who has joined us today in this class. Today we're going to learn more about and remind ourselves about ladder and ladder rescues, because you see, by the end of the day, we really need to learn how to use some of these things, some of these tools that we have in our disposal. By the end of the day, we're going to have some objective here and there. It is just to pass through them. It is to know and describe various types of road and capacity bearing ladders. The other one will be demonstrate how to use them, describe the correct way, and a lot of them describe how to assist a victim down the ladder and how also to use the ladders to go up. So we're going to define some parts of the ladder. Number one is the cribbing angle. This is the angle you position the ladder in relation to the height, in reference to the angle of inclining. This is the angle that we use. This is when the ladder goes direct to the house or to the building that you want to go to climb to, and this is the distance between. We try as much as possible to form an angle of 90 degrees, and we have the bed is a section of the extension ladder that does not go up or it does not move. The butt is a place where, or the shoe of the ladder. Then the beam, these are the places that the manufacturer or we use where the legs are positioned in the principle to structure a member of the ladder. Then we have the fry section. This, it can be either two or three or sections more when if the extension ladder is bigger or it has more than two or three. Then we have the guides. These are the slots that we're going to see a picture of them in the next few slides, and then you're going to see how they work. So the other one is the halyard. This is the rope that we use to extend the fry section. And then we have the hooks. The hooks, these are mostly found in the roof ladders where it has the hooks. You need to push them on the roof where you have the beam, and then it hooks down. Then you can be able to climb up the ladder. Then we have the locks, mostly how in the fry sections. This where if you have an extending ladder, these are some of the parts of the ladder that will lock into motion. The fly section does not come down running, where the other one is when the firefighter or a fire officer is on operations using the ladder. Mostly, we can have some of these some of the manufacturer, depending with the English. Mostly, they are either dogs or paws. Then we have the pike pole. This you'll find them on the ladders. Most of the Bango ladders from these very big fire engines or these very big ladders that needs to be extended, and then you need to support the ladder from the middle part of the ladder downwards to the ground. So then we have the pulley. This is what helps our wheel that helps you that the halyard moves down in. This will help you to extend the fry section at ease. Then we have the race. These are the members of the that we're going to see. I think the most of them you're going to see them. The lugs. I want to go to this part. Where we can see in the first picture, you can see the beam is the block, and then we have the bed. This you can see this one. This is the part that of the ladder that does not extend. And then we have the butt, or what we call the shoe. And then we have the hooks. We also have the fry section. This is the section that moves. You remember we saying that. Then you have the guides. The guides is where the extend or the extension ladder will move by, will guide it. Then we have the halyard. Here it is. Beside this is a rope that will help you to extend the ladder at ease. And then we have the pike pole. We said they support the ladder at the middle down to the floor. This will also increase the stability and the strength of the ladder. Then here we have the pulley. The pulley, this is the groove wheel that help you to move the lanyard at ease. And then we have the rails. Here is the rail. And then we have the legs, and we have the dog post. Here is the dog or the locks. Then we extend and we go to the part where we can also run different types of ladder. We have the extension or ground extension ladders. These are ladders that are constructed with one or more or two more sections of the bed. They extend, maybe can go to up to from 24 foot to about 40 feet, depending with the manufacturer's ability. Most of them will have 24 foot that are ground extension ladders. We have others that are high roof ladders. Those are some of them that you can use, that can be used in fire engines. We have these engines that carry these very big and very heavy ladders, mostly referred to the ladder companies. And here is just an example. We can see an example of a ground ladder here. We also have the what for the wall ladders. Most of the fire engines in Kenya, you'll find them having what we used to call a straight ladder or a single ladder. No, most of the fire departments will have either less or equal to 20-foot wall ladders on the trucks. Roof ladders, we said number one, they have the hooks. Here are the hooks, and how do you extend them? You put them to the outside of the ladder, and then you just make sure like most of them goes out, and you can be able to hang, and then other firefighters will be able to operate and go up there. Then the weight is distributed through the walls. Mostly will be about 14 foot or less. Then we have the pike ladders or the arctic ladders. Yeah, by the word you can be able to. So when the ladder is not in use, you can close it. You see, we have this lock here that you can be able to turn the whole thing into one. Like they look like a pole by the end. If it's not in use, you can use it. You can close it and then entirely. So the step ladder, mostly we have it in maybe in our garage or in our fire engines. Most of them were about maybe from between 6 and 10 foot. We have that are low, that are shorter than that, or some that are higher, that are longer than that. The difference is this has 4 legs. Like you can unlock it, and then it can stand by its own, and without leaning to a wall, you only have to lean on the other set of legs on the other side. This you can use it on the middle of the room, like maybe in the house you want to reach the ceiling. You can just put it, and you can just mount it in the middle, just extend it, and then you can use it anywhere. So you have the construction materials. We have ladders that are constructed using wood. These are the long. They were used a long time ago. Most of them. I remember there was this fire engine in Nairobi that was too old, and it had one of these, and they're a little bit stronger depending with the wood that is used to create them. Then you'll see by the end of the day, you'll have the lugs. The bigger part will be made out of wood, and then in the middle there is an extension of a metallic or a tie rod that we also help to strengthen the lugs as to make sure like these lugs are stronger, they're strong, and they can be used by firefighters climbing up and also descending. The other one is the fiber gases. I think this is the second generation ladder. Most that was made into fibers as technology went on and technology moved from the woods. Then came fiber. They are a little bit. They had a challenge because the fiber walls they can be able they can cause more harm, because by the end of the day you'll find them injuring spiking your legs, your hands if you're not using, and then when they get into direct contact with the PPEs or the firefighting gears, they'll end up causing some discomfort. Now that happens when with age of the ladder. They're a little bit heavier compared to aluminium ladders, or what we call the steel ladders. Mostly found in older operators. As we said, this might from the wood which was the first generation, and then the fiber ladders, which are also we refer them as the second generations. Then we have the metallic. Most of them, they are made of an aluminum alloy that is a little bit lighter. With the alloy comes with a little bit with more being they can conduct they are challenged when you use them into with places with naked wires or electricity, because you see these are metal and it can cause more injuries depending on the structure. And the other one is they can get exposed to heat. Now those are some of the other advantages they can get into. If they are exposed to heat, they becomes weaker, and also which reduces on the lifetime. Another an advantage of the same, they are a bit lighter with about 30% light compared to either the fiber or the wounds. Then if they're taken where if we contribute, we take care of them through the manufacturer's guidelines, they can live as long as more as long as or very long a longer time than either wood or fiber. So we saw after now we've learned the compost, the components, the structures, the types. Now we learn about how to maintain them. We remind ourselves how we can be able to maintain them. Number one, it is inspection. You should be able to identify. Ladders should be inspected either daily, weekly. You can be able on your schedule or on your fire service. I know some of us when we handing over the fire station, or when the other shift is coming to pick on is coming to pick on the next the next shift is coming to pick up. We always have that moment. We hand over instruments. We check things. Uh, we need to check for bends if the ladder has been exposed to too much weight, more than it can do. The other one is rose lags or one of trivets, because they have you saw in the pictures they have red. Then we also have to look for flax, dry. Even in case of wood, if you have a wood ladder, you need to make sure like the wood is not rotten. And then the excessively worn out parts. Then the other thing is we need to make sure like the hooks are properly assembled. This is now for the roof ladder. And for the pulleys, we need to oil them and also grease them so that we can make sure like they are freely moving. Then the fry section should be managed very well. And then by the end of the day, to make sure like it is well served and things are going on very well. So the ladders also need to be lubricated occasionally. Is what we're saying on the pulleys, on the other, or all the moving parts should be well maintained. Testing the ladder, we have the NFPA standard 1932 requires the ladder to be tested annually. Then the ladder at any time, if the ladder is taken out of service, uh, if the ladder has been prone or have been exposed to too much heat, they need to be uh, either subjected to repairs or they can be retired from service. Ladder safety, always make sure you choose the right ladder for the right job, so that's to also increase the lifetime and the use of that ladder. The other one, always you yourself as a firefighter, remember what you talked about last time. I think in some field training that has happened is an injured firefighter is close to a useless firefighter. So when you lift in the ladder, lift using your legs, not your back, so that or your arms, so that you cannot cause more harm to yourself. Then tie off the excess halyards so that to reduce the excess, like what has been done on see here. this guy had the excess of the lanyard, and they use it so that it does not strip you off. Then inspect the locks, make sure the locks are they lock properly so that to avoid injuries or when you are going up the ladder. Then when using it, make sure like the make sure like the locks are locked before climbing to ensure that they are sitting on the equal on the same uh, lag like what we have here. So we also do part of the ladder safety, ensure that the ground is firm. Whatever you're mounting that ladder, make sure that ground is stable and it does not move, so that you can know, so that when you're using it does not cause any harm to the firefighters or to the ladder itself. Always, when you're also using the ladder, make sure you also implement or you do the leg lock so that or use a harness or a belt in this case so that you can be secure when operating on that ladder. Then always keep the ladder clean and inspected. This will also increase the lifetime or the life expectation of the ladder. Then PPE should be worn very very nicely. Make sure you have all the PPEs, that the gloves, the helmet, the eye protection, everything else that is very important. Then raising the crab in the or craving the ladder, we should always ensure that they are physically able to perform the task. Anyone who is going up the ladder, make sure the firefighter or the rescuer is in good mint condition so that you don't cause more harm to the firefighter or to the patient or to the victim if you're going to rescue a victim. Operations, this is when you're using the ladder. So this specifically, this we have bring the ladder or we have the put the ladder. This is when the ladder has been when the ladder is getting down, and when you're preparing to use that ladder, let everyone understand what we are going to do. The key thing here is communication, because you don't want people to get injured while you're operating on while you're using the ladder. This is what we're saying. Like all these communication are key to a successful mission. We move as the rescue operation or as the drill is taking place. So any minute we are bringing the ladder up, make sure like everyone stands clear. This we cannot stop to emphasize this, because by the end of the day, you want to make sure that if the ladder by an accident or by incident comes down the roof, it does not hit anyone or does not cause more harm to anyone. Excuse me so much. Sorry for that. So moving on. So when you are riding the ladder, let everyone understand that we are riding the battery on the ladder proceed fast. So that's to determine or to make sure the ladder is in good contact with the ground. Then when you want to foot the ladder, the commander will shout or will instruct one of the fire officers uh, to foot the ladder so that this is so that they raise the ladder. This makes sure like the ladder it is fully or compressed to the ground so that to make sure it does not slide in any direction. Then the commander will also tell everyone like we are preparing or prepare to raise the ladder. And then when you start that, is this the officers on the who are raising the ladder will shout my ladder or we have the ladder, and then we start moving forward. So upon the ladder, uh, uh, now this ladder now it's fully vertical. Then the commander or the person who is in charge will have to look up and confirm if there is any obstruction above the ladder or where the ladder is moving. Then they will issue the command or they instruct other people like, yeah, we don't have anything. They want to raise the ladder or the fry one of the fry sections, then we need to let everyone understand like we are raising the ladder so that it can be able to reach to a designated area of work. Then we go. Then if you know when it starts to raise it, the commander will issue the command to up the fry. Now this is the act now of extending the ladder. And then if it reaches the maximum or the needed the height, now the also commander will issue an they also issue a command where make sure to make sure the ladder have locks. Let everyone understand that the ladder is locked. This will also ensure the safety of the people. After using or after the operation is done, we need to lower the ladder, or we need not lower the ladder when now on when it is sorry for that when it is on the right height. And then we need now to put the radar to the building. Now the commander will issue a command like to lower into the building. That's when or mostly people will tell you to do a head in. And that's how now the ladder will be placed to the lower to the building gently without banging, without causing more harm. Then if the ladder is not straight, if the radar is not straight or it's not at the right angle, that's when we start either rotate the radar to the right, rotate the radar to the left, as we make sure like the ladder is positioned. This one will the commander will keep on checking if the proper angle has been achieved and give the right command. So and then we have they will give us after that they issue a command to make sure like the halyard or that the rope that you use to raise the ladder has been secured. So now after that, that's how we establish. We also move on and we check on the section of the ladder. When selecting the proper ladder for the job, it is always there's some of the things that we need to check. Number one, it is the general guidance. We're going to see the general guidance of some of these. Please remember the type of, we look at where are we using? Where will be the radar be laid? Like in the place of a roof operations, we might have, if you don't have, you might also decide to use the roof lander that has roof. You also might have, if you don't have another one, you can be able to choose the right radar to the right procedure. And then what is the distance between the floors? Is where you calculate if it's a multi-story building. Then do we have enough people to make sure or to use a bigger radar or a smaller or a more heavier radar than also to use a more lighter ladder. Then here we have some of the things that or some of the guidelines. The 24-inch section or the 24-foot extension radar. This will be good for a building or buildings that has one or two-story building. This the second story. You can be able to go to the next window or to the highest window. Sorry for that. The 28, it's slightly longer than the 24-inch, the 24-foot one. This will go to about close to the second floor of residential foot. or the roofs of commercial building. We have this type of building that are a little bit higher, and they have the difference or the height difference between a floor one and floor two. They might be a little bit more than the residential one. So it can go to the third story of a residential building. And then for the commercial, it might go for maybe, because for commercial, we say the space in between, like for example, the warehouses, the spaces are a little bit bigger or a little bit wider to accommodate maybe the commodities or to achieve the right aeration of the building. The 35 meters or 35-foot extension wonder. For commercial building, it will go to about the roof of the third, yeah, for the roof of about or the third or more for commercial roofs. And then for the residential, it will go to the roof of the third or the fourth floor window. It can also be used as a fire escape ladder. Then you have the bigger one, or what we call the 40 foot extension ladder. For commercial building, it can go to up to the third roof. For warehouses and industrial warehouses, these when you go to warehouses and industry, you know, for the warehouses, they need more room to keep or to store their packages, and they also need the space for aeration and ventilation. Uh, it is good to note that most of these ladders, when they are being operated, they need to have either for the 40 ladder, it is very heavy. So it may need, depending with the size and the energy levels of the firefighters, it should be at least not less than 4 firefighters, and as many as you have in your office, maybe 4, 5, 6, um, so that they can be able to operate on this ladder safely. Then we have the 20 foot. This is a 20-foot wall ladder. Mostly goes for the commercial, not for the residential places. Can go to at least the second story of the second roof. Uh, this is the same height of a warehouse. That will maybe of one warehouse. That's why we say it can go as to the height of one warehouse or commercial building. Uh, Number one is a drawback of this. It's a little bit weaker because you see it's short, so you cannot use it on very high building. And when if you use it on a very on most of the cases, the beams may tear apart. So the 14, we have the 24. Ladder does not exist like just a few rugs. When you extend in some of these ladders, you don't extend completely to the last lug. You always make sure you have two between 3 and 4 lugs that are, so that they can be able to increase the stability of the tip, the extension ladder tip. You make sure like you increase on the stability. Then for the choices, if you have a single story, it is always good to use the 24 because you see it is one, it has a double beam, so it's more stronger and you can be able to rescue heavier persons. Then the 14 one, this can also be used as a straight ladder with hooks that are folded in. It means that the hooks are placed or they have been locked in. So placement of a ladder, this depends with the operation, the kind of number one, the kind of operations, then the type of ladder. Then if the safety of the ladder or the strength of the ladder. the ladder should be positioned before extending it. Make sure this is what it means. Like before you extend that ladder, you need to have got it on straight up or straight vertical position should be straight. Sorry for that. Um, then the other one is, if it's possible, the ladder should be placed on the windows side for objective. You're going to see a picture of that. Then when you put it on the personal, placing it should be at the windward side of the object. It means when you're placing the wind is flowing against, not towards. Should be against. It's going through. So this is what we're saying. The moment you need, when you are raising the ladder, make sure like the legs you have about 1, 2, 3, 4 legs above. If you're doing on the roof, make sure you have about two about not less than 2 legs. This will help the firefighters who are operating there. They can also help you, and they can also it can help you to also secure the ladder up there. So on the horizontal, make sure like the openings with the vents is not usually found on the corners. So place the ladders over the horizontal openings. While you act on the highest part, and then the strength you also need to calculate. Make sure that you the structure stability is not compromised, so that we can make sure like the firefighters are not in danger. So lie down the window is what we say. You can get. We have some books that will always tell you like you can place it on the window stay, flashing through the window without extending. Then we have another way of doing that, where you put the thin rudder, but now you put it on the side of the window. This is now from personal, I find it this to be more safer because you will have more room to clear the grasses that are in the window panes or the window panes, or also these will also shelter the firefighters if the windows are not broken yet. And then the firefighter is climbing up with the hot air, with the smokes that are emitting from the building. This firefighter who moves through has an advantage over the firefighter who will be walking through, who will be operating through here, because the smoke will come direct to the firefighter, and with this one, it means the firefighter will have a room to hide themselves or to shelter themselves against any flying objects. Then pressing the ladder on the slopey area is where we say we have the cribbings. Yeah, the cribbings. This, if you look at the pictures, we can show you the ladder was slanting to the side, and now using the cribbings, the ladder has been stabilized. We have the wood cribbings, we have the metallic cribbings. Or it is when installing them, make sure they are stored next to the ladder. Raising the ladder, the fundamentals. When bringing the ladder, make sure the ground is firm. This is what we're saying. We need to put the ladder, make sure like the ground is stable enough so that it does not it does not fall down together with the firefighters, because the moment the ladder goes down, it's heavier. So it will go injuring, and when it slides, it will go causing more harm to the firefighters who are operating it or to the rescuers who are using it. Footing the ladder. Footing the ladder, you place one of the legs. We see in a few. Now, when raising the ladder, make sure the ladder has been footed. This will increase the stability of the ladder. The lugs is the safest way to prefer method of footing because you see by the firefighter here it is. This is when the firefighter uses the lugs to stabilize the ladder. Sorry for the background noise. We're going to have a lot of operations that are happening. And then footing the ladder, this helps the firefighter to foot or to stay stable or to stabilize the ladder when they are using, when the ladder is being raised. The foot slugs. So when you're using the foot slug, this is what it means. Uh, it means is we use both legs because the moment you use one leg, if you cannot be able to use both legs, you use two firefighters, one to step on this and the other one to step on the other side. Because the moment you step on one side, it means the ladder can flip out and can flip away from uh, so which means the ladder can flip out or can flip side that is not stabilized. So foot of the ladder for crabbing, putting the ladder for crabbing. Remember we said this will provide additional stabilization or additional security to the ladder when this person is when the operations or the firefighters are operating above the ladder. And we have is what we mean. You always make sure you can either fold the ladder when the firefighter is stepping on the lugs, or the firefighter or the fire officer can hold the ladder from the opposite side of the ladder, holding it firmly to the ground, so that to make sure this ladder is secure and ready for operation. So crabbing inclination or crabbing angles, the desired is the best is between now from flat ground, the angle that the ladder will form from the flat ground to the building. It's the best place or the best angle would be about 75 degrees. Um, and then it will be about 75 between 70 degrees and 80 degrees, depending with the height of the building or the height of the operation. And it is very easy. That is how you do it. You should not. The building distance should be equal to a few of the portion. This will go between a fifth of the ladder or a fifth of the height of the ladder. This will be like that. They will be about 2 to 3 foot from the building to the back of of the ladder. So flipping or rotating the extension ladder, once the extension ladder has been set, it is properly set, it should be flipped, rotated, or the right side facing out. You can only, this is what it means, when you want to rotate the angle or when you want to rotate the ladder, the head should be out first so that you can be able to rotate and secure the ladder very nicely. Uh-huh. So this is what we're saying. The carabin angle is this. This is what we're saying from the butt of the ladder to the house or to the building should be about this angle. This is what we're saying should be about 75 degrees. And then this distance from here uh, to the building should be about 2 to 3 foot um, wide. Then locking the ladders, make sure like the position is locked, make sure the fly section is locked very well. And then it is facing away. So it locks very nicely. Here it is, you see. Then this is when the fry section is facing away from the building and the fry section is facing towards the building. Then for an additional security or for additional security or you tie the ladder above on the area of operation. Working from height, the residence is, if you're using the normal bricks, you need to count about 9 of them. That will be also equivalent to 1 feet. So requirements, commercial building, mostly they go to 10 and above foot from floor to floor. This is what we're saying. The residential is a little bit shorter than commercial. We can get the commercial that go up to 14 feet, depending with the type of building and the usage of that building or the occupants. Before climbing the ladder, always make sure the ladder has been footed. This is to make sure the ladder is secure to the building very well. And also, it also boosts the confidence of the firefighter or the rescue personnel who is going up. Working off the ladder or working where we have to improve the leg lock using you working on the ladder. So number one, when you're doing that, you slide down one leg. This is what we mean. You slide down one rug, and then you using this leg, lift it to the next to the upper leg. Then make sure, is what we say, slide the foot back through the space one leg down so that the leg can be positioned behind your knee. This is what we mean. You slide this leg. You see this leg here? Slide the leg here. You slide the leg in between the leg that is next to which you stepped on one leg, and the other one you slide the leg there. Then you bring it at the in between your knee. Then this is how you perform the leg lock. Like this is something that we can be able to do in our stations practically. So carrying up equipment due to the nature of firefighting, it is always good. It's always good to train using how to use the ladders while carrying equipment. And we have some few illustration here. Make sure the tool or the axe is secure. Is secure through. You can have the axe belt with you. Then not always. Then if it's a free from, make sure that the working or the load of the axe does not go between the legs, because you see it might enter between one leg and the other leg of the of a fry section, and then it will limit your movement. If it's large, you can hold it using your hand and then you climb up. The other one is when using a tool or when raising a chainsaw or what we call the power saw here. Always make sure it is you hold it with one of your hands and it is off. You can either use one hand. You can also insert the hand between the step. Then we have it also. You can also use what we call the belt or a rope, and then you can be able to climb up with it. Always make sure like the ladder is secured. Then when you are going up with the ceiling hook, the sharp edge. In this one, you see the sharp edge. You hook on the lugs, then you move up, get the sharp edge again up, then on the high you go higher. Or you can use one hand hold the ceiling hook, or on the ceiling hook, or whatever tool you're climbing up. The sharp edges should face outside the ladder so that they don't go entering on the lag's fault. Then carrying a roof ladder, this will always make sure like when you're transporting it, make sure that the hooks are locked into place. Yeah, thank you so very much for that, for listening. Chief Mike, back to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Richard. It's a great presentation. Covered lots of material there. I appreciate you being here. We're just about to the end of our time, but let me make an adjustment or two here. If there's any questions regarding today's training, there's a couple different things you can do. You can drop your question in the chat. You can use the raise hand feature, or you could unmute yourself and ask your question there. So the floor is open. We'll take a few moments here to see if there's any questions before we wrap up today. All right, we're going to be transitioning into our tea time, but before that, I want to thank Richard for joining us today, leading us in today's topic, talking about ladders. Hopefully, that's some good information, you guys. What I would encourage you to do now, though, is to go back and check out the ladders that you've got within your fire brigades. See how they compare with some of the information that we've presented here. There's all sorts of different styles of ladders. So check out what you've got compared to the way we talked about some things here, and then get your hands on them. Try them out. Try some of your ladder placements and things like that. Um, the use of ladders and properly throwing ladders quickly and efficiently when you arrive on the scene is a great way to demonstrate to the public that you're well trained and that you're good at what you do. So be sure that you're practicing getting those ladders off the trucks, getting them adequately placed quickly and efficiently, you know. So I encourage you all, get your hands on those ladders if you've got them, and start working on that stuff. So thanks, Richard. Thank you to all of you for joining us for today's training. We don't take for granted the fact that you're using your own time and your own bundles to join us for today's training so that you can better yourselves and better serve your community. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the formal portion of our training. Encourage you all to stick around for our tea time as we transition into that. Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you all again next week.